Welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with Lisa and the Music Man. Live from Studio C, here at Media Stations in Bohemia, New York.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Awareness Hour. Not the Power Hour, Linda. It's the Awareness Hour. Okay, just in case you were reminiscing of a couple of months back. No, Lisa is not with us this evening. The lovely Linda Grace Farley will be co-hosting with us this evening. And we got a really hot show for you tonight, folks. So very educational, very emotional. And you're going to get a lot of information tonight and a wonderful individual to talk to after this particular show is over. We're going to put out her contact information and phone number. And if you guys are all interested at the end of this, sometime in the very near future, I know you will be calling. So, Linda, let's just say hello to you a little bit. How's the Beamer world?
Oh, Norm.
Short version. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm amazed. You know, it's like once you put the intention out there, things are, and it's all for the good.
You know, that's that awareness. How can I help another? That's the awareness. You create awareness, people respond to it.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to become a pastor of awareness. That's what I'll be called, pastor awareness.
I can see that.
Father awareness, pastor awareness, rabbi awareness, you know, whatever it may be. Business awareness hours.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's our pleasure. You and I met, I guess, about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, we were introduced to each other by Jeff Johnson. And you got to meet Jeff Johnson, and you were at an Achieve event in Denver, and you're from Denver. What part of Denver are you from?
Canyon City.
Canyon City, okay.
Yeah.
So you met with Jeff, and actually you met Lori Landon.
Yes, I did.
Right? And you got your own little group over there, which I happen to be know and like those people very much. So does Linda, because we're all come from the same networking group. So we're forced to like each other, even though we don't like each other.
Right.
Is that right?
Well, it's easy. It's easy to do because look at we have good people. Yep. I mean, we're good people.
That's very
right?
true.
We have good people to network with, so we're very blessed.
And
your spirits start connecting.
Yeah. So we're going to start talking about you and about your ministry and your business. You got a whole combination of things that you do. So when we start off, did you grew up in Denver?
No, I grew up in Canyon City, which is 2 hours south of Denver.
But it's
it's the southern part. Yeah,
but it's in Colorado.
yes.
Okay.
And this is where I have lived most of my life, except for 4 years.
And where were you in those 4 years?
I lived in Salem Springs, Arkansas for 2 years then. My kids' father was going to John Brown University. And so I worked for Dayspring Greeting Cards. And
Dayspring what? I'm sorry?
Dayspring Greeting Cards.
Oh, Graceville. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you write the verbiage in the...
No,
I could see you doing that.
I know that Roy Lesson is one of the founders, and I forget the other gentleman's name, but yeah, an amazing company to work for too. Yeah, because they had just moved there from California.
Is there a reason why you had left that?
We moved to Kansas City.
Oh, so you had another stop in between, and you stayed in Kansas City for
2 years, and got a divorce from the kids' dad because of his affair. And so I moved back home.
Okay.
Yep.
Where it's nice and safe.
Where it's nice and safe, yeah. And I haven't left since I got back here April 14th of 1989.
And it's still nice and safe. There you go. Now you've done a lot of things after you've graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. Where are they located, by the way?
Wherever I am.
And wherever everybody is, because we all go through that School of Hard Knocks.
Right.
No matter what school you attended to, you attended also, you have a master's or a PhD from the School of Hard Knocks.
I have all of that, yeah. And I haven't graduated yet because I'm still alive. So
you're still a proverbial
still going
student.
To school. Yeah, right?
Yeah. Student of life.
Well, that's
but then she could talk about it. You see,
easily.
And then there's more authenticity because it's not something, I'm learning it in a book. I'm
No,
learning it from the School of Hard Knocks so I can share it with others. And because of that authenticity, you're going to connect with people better, I would imagine. Yes?
absolutely.
That's how.
Yes,
That,
absolutely.
that's kind of one of the reasons how and why, not how, that Tani and I had met, and then we got to start talking about this crazy concerts that I go and do around the country, and she wanted to get some more information, and we did, and we're on a path to hopefully doing one out right in her hometown. So that's looking good. But let's talk about now. After the School of Hard Knocks, what did you do? You came back. You came back to Colorado,
To
and
Colorado.
right.
Yeah.
And what did you start working as?
Yeah. And by that time my kids were, oh gosh, what were they? 6 and 4.
Mm.
And so one of them was in school, and then I met my ex-husband. So yeah, we got started on a relationship, and sadly I ended up getting pregnant and having an abortion, and that was the hardest thing to ever go through. I'd go through the divorces and all of that before I'd ever go through an abortion again. Yeah.
All right, so you had this abortion, and now it's time to move on again. Another chapter, it closes and a
Yes.
new one opens. And then
Yeah.
after that, did you start a new job? Were you able to go to work with 3 young kids?
2 young kids. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
did, and I got started into real estate, which I loved. I did that. I did working as an assistant for one of my very, very dear friends who's also sponsoring my conference.
Oh,
And then I went out on my own, and then my daughter ended up pregnant and gave birth to my oldest granddaughter, and I stayed home to raise her. So, and she is now 26 going to medical school.
oh, wonderful. Mommy did a
So,
good job.
yeah,
Mom
You
did a
see,
good
you see
job.
how that whole cycle just comes, yeah,
I know, right? Yep,
comes forward. Yeah. Everything
yep,
is as it's meant to be,
that's
Tony,
right.
Tony, right?
Right.
Now you have
Yeah.
a ministry.
Yes, I do.
It's and you have what's called a healing conference. Okay, cool. Let's start. How and why? How did this all take place?
Well, I'd have to say it all started from when I was 5 years old. And I've had to learn how to get through things. And you have to heal or you just stay a victim. And that's not me.
Yes. Hmm.
I love to move forward. And so through the divorce of the ex-husband, because of his affairs, I got into recovery. And yeah, I started working with women. And I've always had a heart for women and women's ministry. But going through the recovery and having my own group, led to that. And it's just something that God has placed in my heart, just to help others. And so when you've went through something, He uses it for His glory. And so who better to help the women that are going through something an awful lot alike,
And,
than
and
someone. So
yes, and sometimes when they're in that situation, they need to have light shine on them and someone like yourself who has that experience through the School of Hard Knocks,
yeah,
that would get you the connection because they know you understand.
absolutely.
And the compassion and empathy that you would show them,
Yep.
they may take chances that prior to that, I don't suspect that they would.
How many
Right.
people do you have in your ministry?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, that's a good
Really.
that's a good number. Honestly,
It
not saying it
is.
as a joke. I mean, if you can tell me 20 or 25, you know the number, all right? And it's not a great number, it's not a bad number. You're still helping 20 or 25 people that
At
really
least,
need,
yes.
right? But I would imagine you got hundreds if not thousands throughout the country.
I really do because I get connected with people overseas in other countries and stuff like that too. And so all you have to do is listen to them, right? That's pretty much what a lot of people just want is to be heard. Someone to be there to listen to them. Not to
You
tell them
know,
what to
y-
do, but just to
yes,
care and to understand and be supportive. And
you
I
nailed that.
love doing that. I love doing that.
Yeah. You
Yep.
nailed that one, Tawny. So your ministry, could you elaborate? What do you do within your ministry?
A little bit of everything.
And who is your
Talk
That's
focus on?
too easy
Your
an answer.
focus is
Let's get
broken women, literally broken women, because I was a broken woman. I was suicidal. If my mom had not walked through the back door, I would not be here today. Yeah. So I can relate to a lot of women that have just completely given up, women that are in the dark, women that have been physically abused, sexually abused, abandoned, betrayed, traumatized. Yeah.
now.
Um,
How do you
neglected by the children. My children have walked out of my life so many times and banned me from seeing my grandkids. And I could go on and on and on. And it just, but yeah, you just keep moving forward. And those are the people that you reach out and touch. And so my coaching, my Healing Broken Women is probably one of the greatest, but the Healing Conference is the biggest of my heart, and that come about because of all of the healing that I went through. And he just kept saying to me, the Healing Conference, as I was on a way home from a conference, and I'm like, okay, Lord, well, what do you mean? And he just started downloading, and I was just obedient and just started moving forward, and things fell into place. And here we are a year later and still going. And actually this next year they're going to be twice as many. And so I'm excited.
Well, how do you find these women? Are they referred to you by obviously other sources, religious, social? Is that do you have connections to these places where they refer people to you?
Like social media and stuff, yeah, or
Any
different
which way.
people, but
I'm just asking for generalization on how you
right.
get these women that need the help. Because there's a lot of women that need help. How do you determine who you help and who you don't help?
Right, well, the discernment. um Social media has been huge for me, LinkedIn and Facebook. And I'll just get connected from one person to the next, or they'll see my posts and they'll say, oh my gosh, just like today, I met a lady today because I had posted like 2 days ago about my abortion and the vision that God had given me and the process of the healing. And so she reached out to me, and today we met, through Zoom. And she said, by reading what I had said, was exactly what she needed to do to face
Mhm.
the fact, of things that she had hidden. Mine was hidden for like 30 some years, right? But it
Mhm.
destroys you. It physically destroys your body too, because you're
Oh, sure.
carrying that. And
Yes.
so it's things like that. And you just open up and you're receptive to it.
So you say you got into the profession because it's kind of like you were pulled into it. So I have a question. What would you say to those women who are repeated victims that cannot move from the mindset of being a victim? What would you say to those individuals?
Do you want the help? Do you want to move out? Some women stay that way because it's a safe place. They
Mhm.
know that area. So they're going to choose to stay there. Do they want the abuse? No. But they don't know what it's like to be on the other side whatsoever. And to do it alone, it's not going to succeed. It's just like someone with the alcoholic.
Mhm.
They have to choose to become in recovery, right? And women are the same thing. And that's what I did, was I went through the 12 steps recovery for the
Mhm.
situation that I had been in. I
Mhm.
had to choose. And thankfully there were people there to support me. But it
Tanya,
was a safe place to just keep putting up with it because I didn't want to lose my home. I didn't want to, disappoint other people. I didn't want all of the issues. And so you just kind of like, okay, well, let's try again. Let's try again. And finally it was like, no, enough is enough. 7 times. And it's usually 7 times that a woman
Mhm.
will, keep putting up with, or take the husband back or whatever. And I finally said enough was enough, and I went for help. So
now when you offer these people help, shelter, do you have a home that they can go to, and a secret home, a special location where the husbands can't get crazy and find them and create all kind of, issues? Or do they?
I don't,
That's a good
well,
question.
I personally don't have it, but I do know the ladies and the people that do. Yes.
So then you can
And that,
refer to these places. You find out how many beds or
they,
rooms they may have, and you
yes.
do it that way.
Yes. And Colorado now has a lot more safe houses than they did
Well,
like
that's good. That's due to
17
people
years
like
ago.
you.
Pardon?
That's due to people like you.
Well, and you know what is so weird is I have to give my mom some credit there, even
Oh, of
though
course, I get that.
my mom is not my best friend, but she was really big in that because of the church that she belongs to, that I grew up in. But she was really big into the women's ministry, and so she was big in bringing and helping some of these places in Colorado come together. And so that's how I got a connection. But I know that there are other states, that do the exact same thing, but you've got to have that, yeah, because there are some men out there that will just keep chasing and
Oh,
chasing
absolutely.
until,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and we've
everywhere,
seen
right?
it. We've
that's through
I've
seen
their
it.
seen
own
it in my
inadequacies that
community
they
a lot.
have.
Yeah,
Hmm.
A strong woman, like either one of you two, you've shown them who's boss.
That's the warrior, right?
That's the
Tom,
warrior
Tom,
that she
exactly,
yeah.
is.
right? I am a
Absolutely.
warrior woman. Yeah, that
Well,
was
I
my latest
salute you.
collaboration. Yes,
I salute you. I'm one as well. And,
good for
it's like,
you. Yep,
get behind me. Or I
I'm
should say,
exactly.
get behind me, Satan, right? Because it's not,
Exactly.
no, you
Yes.
you have no business
Yeah,
here. So
right.
so can we ask you a question? Could you
Absolutely.
share with our viewers, our listeners and viewers, um, a story, an interesting story
or
that
two.
or two? We got time for two?
You will
Okay.
make
How about
time.
two interesting stories and how, if you started from how it came about and then how it resulted, the result of how the interaction. If you could share that with us, that would be fantastic.
Well, this is going to be one story that a lot of people don't believe, but it is, but it is true because, yeah. So on December 11th of 2015, I received a text message that was not meant for me. It was meant for another woman. And this was probably the fifth time this had happened. And so I called my ex-husband and I said, you get home and you get your crap out right now. I'm done. This is it. I'm done. So it was probably 10 or 15 minutes he come to the house. And in our kitchen we have these counters and it's kind of cut this way. And I had backed up to the counter and told him, just get your stuff, get out. I'm done. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of hurting. Enough was enough, right?
Mhm.
He kept coming towards me, and I don't like people in my face because of the fact that I was physically abused by the first husband. And so I took out, and our garage is attached to the house, but you have to go out of the house to get in there. And I had went out there, and he followed me out there. And I said, why can't you stop hurting me and our granddaughter? Because we were still raising our granddaughter. And he just looked at me and he says, I can't. I called him a liar and I slapped him. Little did I know that his son had already called the police and said, I think she has a gun in the house.
Oh my!
She just told my dad to get out. This is true story.
Because you told him to get out, that means you have a gun?
No, that the son knew. And I had a gun, but it had been months earlier and I had sold it. I didn't want it, right? I mean, just it was not the area that it needed it to be, right? Because I knew all of this stuff was going to happen. And, what if I had gotten mad or whatever? So I just didn't want it. But he had called the cops and told them that. So he's standing there. The cops show up. They say, would you please, Mrs. Larson, would you please tell us what happened? And I said, yeah, I'll tell you what happened. I said, I got a message that wasn't meant for me. And I told him to get home and get his crap out of the house. I said, he followed me out into the garage. I asked him why he was doing this. He said he couldn't stop it. And I called him a liar and I slapped him. Never have I been in trouble. I didn't know you're not supposed to tell the police what just happened, right? Because I just like incriminated
Well, you
myself.
wouldn't exactly say that you slapped him. That would be something, because then you started.
Well, but I did slap him. I mean, I'm just
we
an
know,
honest
we know
person.
that, but you should have skipped
Well,
that part.
Yeah. I think they'd see the evidence with a red mark on his face or
Well,
something.
he wasn't cooperating with them, which was a benefit to me.
Right.
But I did get arrested.
For assault.
I did.
Of course. That would make
Domestic
sense.
violence.
Sure.
That's
and
why you
assault.
shouldn't have done it.
Yes.
Exactly. But you
Well,
sound,
after all that, I wish I would have hit him a lot harder. No, but so
Well, more
I go
often.
I go to jail. So when I tell my story on stage, I say, do I look like a woman that would end up in jail? Right? I mean, because nobody, even when I got there, nobody could believe that I was there. I sat in that, what do they call it? The holding cell
right.
for 5 hours crying because I'm like, Lord Jesus, what are you doing? Is it not enough, that he's doing all of this? Now I have to pay for his sins. I'm the one paying for his sins, right?
There was
I'm
a
the
lesson
one in
for you to
jail.
learn.
Yeah,
There
why
was a
is he
lesson
not
there.
in jail? Well, the person that taught me how to do real estate, who is still my dear friend and had his ministerial rights, came and I got to see him. And I said, Kurt, I can't believe this. I just can't believe this. He goes, I know. And he said that the ex-husband had already went to the office and told him what had happened. And I said, well, you know what, Kurt? I said, all I know is God's going to use me while I'm in here. And he goes, that's exactly what I told him you would say. Guess what God did?
They opened the door for you.
He used me while I was in there. Yep. There was a young lady in there for a DUI. I think it was like her third or fourth one. And she needed some help with paperwork. Well, I seen what her last name was. And I asked her if she was related to this person that I knew. Well, it was a connection. So I helped her, ministered to her, ministered to some of these other ladies and stuff. After I got out of jail, and I got out on just my personal PR, because I'd never been in trouble before, right? But after I got out, I even went back to this place that had damaged me. I went back to visit her twice while she was still there. I got a hold of an attorney. The attorney said this was a setup. I mean, it was a setup. So all of the charges were dismissed.
Good for you.
But God needed me in there, right?
Yeah.
He knew that I would go in there and find the positive in it.
Now, are you part
Not
of the?
look at just
Did you get yourself into the correction system and being someone that could help women get out?
No. No, that just has not been my calling. It just this young lady that I ministered to there now, she goes to my mom and dad's church and she's in women's ministry. So it was like,
Nice.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's just amazing what God can do. So, but no, I have never felt that calling. It was through all of this recovery work to help women, So, but that was even like 3 years. And then after that, we divorced. Then we started dating again.
What's
Got
wrong with
married
you?
again. The ex-husband. I married him again. Just to find out within 3 months that the affair still was going on. Never had stopped. As much as he tried to convince me. But I gave him another chance, right? That was my 7th time. No.
Checkout
done.
time.
Yep. I said, you owe me everything. I mean, here I gave my life up for you again, went to jail, all of that. And I'm like, you owe me everything. So you write up the divorce. And I tell you what, God bless me so much. Yeah. And do you know that I did not see that person for a long, long time?
Which person
And
is this?
then over the summer, I ran into him at a car show and we were able to talk.
You mean your ex-husband?
Yep.
Okay.
That's how much forgiveness God had moved through my heart.
Mm.
Yep.
I guess he did
Because
it.
he's still my children's stepfather. He's still the grandfather of my grandchildren. I mean, they love and adore him.
So let me ask you a question, Tony. Tani, right?
Yes.
Both your husbands cheated on you?
Yes.
Me being me and what I do, I would say there's the pattern,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So when you adapt to saying, well, um, I say this all the time, and Norm heard it. You have to look at yourself. What are you drawing to you,
And why?
And
and
why?
why?
Why is a very big part
Once,
of this?
look, the old Scottish term, right? What was it on Star Trek? You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
Fool me
twice, shame on
twice,
me.
shame on me.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. That's why I did the 12 steps through
Mhm.
the recovery.
What
Heart-to-heart
does-
counseling in Colorado Springs, because Dr. Doug Weiss deals with sex addicts, intimacy anorexic, narcissists. That's exactly what both of my ex-husbands are.
So why were you drawn to such people?
Because I was sexually abused when I was 5 years old, and then again as a teenager. My relationship with my mom is not a connecting one.
And she knew about this?
Mhm.
Okay.
She had been sexually abused by her father her whole life until she met my dad.
It's cyclical. You see this, Norm?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's so predictive
It is.
that, and people don't see that. What happens in childhood, and as we grow older, right? That wounded child still exists within us.
Oh, of course. Unless you get it out of your body, out of your mind, it's going to happen over
Absolutely.
and over again. And as a
Yeah.
mother, how do you allow something like this? I mean, I feel.
He, yeah, because he abused my sisters, not me. It was her brother that abused me, but her father abused my sisters.
What heck of
Yeah.
a family.
Because she didn't want to face it herself. She did not face it until maybe like 15 years ago. So, yeah, it's sad. And that's the thing about all of these hidden things. That's what is so horrible about keeping them hidden and remaining the victim, because all you're doing is making a victim out of everyone else in your family.
Well, we're going to change things a little bit, and we're going to do it right now because we're going to have people find out how to get in touch with you. So, Dylan, let it roll, baby. Okay, now, if you can, give everybody your phone number, Tani.
719-429-5554.
Can you do it again?
719-429-5554.
And do you have an email that people, if they don't want to use
Yes.
the phone?
I do. TONNILEATV, as in television, @gmail.com.
All
And
right.
that's Tani Lee TV @gmail.com.
So you have
Do you
your
have
own,
your own TV?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
You do? Oh,
Yes.
well, that's very nice
Healing
to know
Hearts
as
in
well.
12 Steps.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, so now what we're going to do, because I had to pay the bills here. All right, and I'm not asking Tani, to pay the bills for me, and I know that Linda's not going to pay. She already paid part of my bills. So that being said, we're going to disappear for a minute or two, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Lisa Rodino. I am a commercial loan advisor and broker. Have you been finding that your business's cash flow is not where you need it to be? Have you found yourself taking from your personal accounts to meet your business's obligations? Have you found that those quick solutions of quick money are starting to get awfully expensive? My job is to find the right funding products for my clients so they can get back to working in their business and give me the task of finding the best options for their situation. Give us a call today to learn more. 516-268-0350.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Business Awareness Hour. With our very, 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 very special guest, Tani Lee, Lea. And by the way, Linda, I think you'll be interested to know this, that we have a guest, not a guest, somebody watching us that we know very well. It's a young lady by the name of Holly Holiday is on, and she is watching our show this evening, and she gave us some nice kudos. And she made a suggestion that I should go back to the business aspects of what's going on. How did she know that's the game plan? Holly is just like you. She's like a mind seeker. You know, she knows what's going on. So now that Holly recommended this, all right, I want to go back to Achieve. Tell us about what Achieve is, how often you go there, and then let's segue into the events that you go and do.
Wow, I just got in part of August, and Robert Raymond had seen something that I had posted about my conference, and so he reached out to me, and then I met with Vanessa, and oh my goodness, got to go to the well, first I went to a happy hour and to meet people, and just an amazing group of people. The marketing, the Rolodex of people that you get, you know.
So can I interrupt for a second?
Yes,
ma'am. What is it? For those of us that do not know, what is Achieve?
It's everything.
What is it? Is it an organization?
Group. It's an organization. It's a group that Robert started, gosh, a long time ago. He's been doing conferences and speaking and
And Robert's last name?
Raymond.
Raymond okay. Sounds like a stage name.
I know, right? I always call him Raymond. Okay. I'm like, no, that's not his name. His name is Robert Raymond. But him and Vanessa, yes. And so it includes, you do joint ventures. You get to connect with these people, and they become your support and your cheering. And it's just an amazing group. And I tell everybody about it. And that's how I got to meet Norman, because that's where I had met Jeffrey.
Well, you met me
Jeff
indirectly. I wasn't actually there. Through other people, I got recommended to you. Yes,
Jeff, right? Yeah, because I went and spoke to Jeffrey about doing, getting tickets and stuff on my website.
I'm thinking about coming to one within the. I know you got one coming up, but the one afterwards, I'm thinking about coming to.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Are you talking about the concert?
No, I'm talking about the conference.
Oh, about the conference? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's.
I thought maybe he's coming to the concert.
If I could meet people like you and Jeff and the other Jeff as well, then there's other people. And Lori. Then there's other people that I can go and meet. And if I meet people, look, you go there for business. You don't go there for any other particular reason. Make friends and do business. Well, that's what I do. I make friends and I do business. And that's.
But is that like a franchise? Because I could have sworn I heard somebody else that runs something like that, Achieve, and it's not Robert Raymond unless she's associated with him somehow.
You can have your own chapter. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like
in Vegas, Phoenix. Somewhere on the East Coast. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah. And then there's several
East Coast could be Florida.
Chapters in Colorado. I'm sorry, Norman?
I think so.
The East Coast could be Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
And
Phyllis, right?
yeah,
Norm?
in Florida.
Phyllis Benstein.
Yes, yes.
Yep,
She
yep. That's how I
and
heard
she's
about.
one of the board members. Yes. And she
Okay.
comes back to Denver quite a bit. Yeah, she's in Florida right now. Yep, that's her.
I think we should all go. I mean, you know, Tani goes there. I mean, I think we should put a little group together. Maybe Holly, if she's still listening, maybe she wants to go. You know, we get some people even from NRG. You know, that people that we, you know, do business with or would like to do business, try to put something together, you know, and go there. But that
Sounds
I
fabulous.
Yeah.
you know, we do these Zoom meetings, but I really enjoy doing face to face.
Face to person to
I'm good
person.
at I'm good. I
Absolutely
mean,
right.
I'm okay on the Zoom and whatever, but I'm really good face to face.
Yes,
You know.
that's what I love too. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so that's what Achieve is all about. Now let's talk about your podcast. What goes on with your podcast?
Interviewing anyone that, well, of course, who's healed or in the process of healing, or those that help people with healing, like coaches and, you know, ministers, therapists, that type of stuff. Because there's not only just mental healing, but there's body, there's soul, and spirit. And like this goes along with my conferences, like God said, because you start healing one, you start healing your mind for your mind to be healthy, your body starts becoming healthy, and so does your spirit. And so they're all connected. And that's why I say we're sort of like the Trinity, right? Because it's all connected
It
together.
is.
Now,
Yeah.
It
where do
is.
you-
It's all the same.
Yeah, we're kindred spirits, Tony.
Absolutely.
before we
Yeah.
get into what we normally do on our show in the second half of the show, do you reach anywhere in the country? People can reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, I have people in Kenya, Uganda, Pakistan, Australia, United
So you're
Kingdom.
international. You're
Yes.
international.
I am
Okay,
an
great.
international speaker. Yes.
She already has me talking
Done
about.
that.
She's like Lori. She has me going internationally to do concerts.
Yes, absolutely.
So I thought that was funny. All right, so
Lori's amazing.
she's
Yeah,
a pretty
she is.
Yes.
interesting woman. She's pretty much so.
Got a huge heart. Yes.
The heart, she has something different than a heart. I mean, heart doesn't give her enough justice.
That's very true.
You know.
Because she's going to get the job done.
You know, I work with her. You know, and I see
Right.
how she acts and what have you. She is so non-business. And so much into what she thinks she's business. And Gloria, if you're listening, I'm saying this with absolute love.
Right.
Yeah,
You got to stick
she's
to what
on a mission.
She absolutely is on a mission.
Yes.
And nothing and no one is going to get in her way.
No.
Not even me.
You could tell the essence of, because everything she says comes from her heart,
You
not
can
her
read
head.
it on her face.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can just watch her expressions and
Yeah.
such. And she talks
Absolutely.
from the heart.
Yes.
That's what she's all about.
Absolutely.
Talking
That's a
about
love.
heart, the heart of your business is going to be your website, or is your website. So we're going to jump to your website right now,
Okay.
and we're going to go over it piece by piece. I'm going to let Linda take control of this because I don't have a computer in front of me that can do this. Linda, are you okay with that?
I have it, and I'm going to look
Okay, now,
at.
Tani,
let's
if
look
you
at,
can go to the website, then you can go hand in hand along with Linda.
There we go.
Well, I have to give kudos to my friend who does my website,
What's their name?
M. Curtis McCoy.
And how do they get in touch with that person?
Hi at mcurtismccoy.com.
Okay, tell Curtis that he owes me one.
Okay.
Okay.
He's excited about the concert.
Oh, that's good.
He-
We're going to use the services
Yeah.
too. So tell him to
He
get
is
tell him to
my
get ready.
co-producer. He does the filming of my speakers and puts all of the stuff on my website. Yeah, he takes care of all of that stuff. He's amazing, and he is a brain cancer survivor. He should not be here. Yeah, the doctors gave him 30 days.
Did you introduce him to Jeff Pearson?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeff Pearson, I don't think it was Jeff Pearson, but Jeff Johnson, I did. Yes.
No, I'm
because
talking
they
about
were the ones that talked.
because Jeff Pearson has a similar disorder. So I figured it would be a good idea for at least the two of them
Right.
to have a conversation.
I don't remember if I did or not, but
Well, there
thank
you go.
you
You
for
jump on that
reminding
tomorrow.
me.
Okay. All right. So what's the next part of you?
So let's start with books because I'm a person that loves to read. So I see 4 books here,
Yes.
Tawny. So what was I could see what the inspiration was, but what was your first book?
Prayers to a Heavenly Father. And that came out of my recovery because step 3 is about your relationship with God and writing letters to God. And so the women in my group loved the way that I wrote my letters to God. And one of them said, have you ever thought about writing a book? And I'm like, no, but I'm going to pray about that. My grandma was a writer. She had written 5 books before she had passed away. They never were published, but she was the writer. And ever since I was little, she'd always encouraged me to write poems and that type of stuff. So, yeah.
That would be a nice idea. Do you have your grandmother's books?
Yes.
Oh, that's a really good idea, Linda. That's a really
in honor of my grandmother.
I know where you're going with that. That's a really good idea.
We always remember our ancestors. And that would be
most definitely.
Yeah.
My grandma and my grandpa. Absolutely. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Yep. So what was the inspiration? All right, so your first one was prayers to a Heavenly Father, and we understand that. So what was the inspiration with
honoring my Heavenly Father?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would answer for you, but it's better if you do it because it's your books. So what was the inspiration behind that? What gave you the drive to write that book?
Because I honor my father. My Heavenly Father is my heavenly husband. He was there when no one else was. He is faithful to me when no one else has ever been. He loves me when no one else has loved me. He has forgiven me when no one else has forgiven me. He has cared for me and he has provided for me. He became my heavenly husband. And when I couldn't do something, I'd say, husband, I need your strength. And I tell you what, I could do it. So I know. And I wanted to honor him. And in there is my message to my little girl in heaven. So.
Very good. Very good. All right. So let's jump to the Healing Broken Women. That's kind of like your conferences, is it not?
Exactly.
It is. And that came first and everything flowed after that. Yep.
Beautiful.
Because I was asked about what was my ministry going to be? What was my marketing going to be? And somebody said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I help broken women heal. And, I deal with broken women. That's how I said, I deal with broken women. And then they said, well, are you going to leave them broken? And I said, well, no. And he goes, well, how about you help broken women heal? And I was like, yeah. And so that's how that came about. And then came the book. And so it's got the 12 steps in there and a lot of my story, things that I went through. And then that's how everything has started. Yeah. Because it's a healing. And I have the anointing of healing in different ways. Yeah. So
beautiful. All right. Now we have the courses. Do you have any courses that you're offering?
Oh, really?
The 12 steps, the healing in 12 steps. That is my coaching, empowerment coaching. Yeah.
I thought the 12 steps were something else.
Pardon?
I thought the 12 steps was something like for addiction or such. Like alcohol, you have the 12 steps.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay, good. Okay, now I know.
But it's for recovery. Because there's Al-Anon for those that are married to or whatever, So, yeah. But that is how the therapy, the recovery that I went through was off of the 12 steps.
I wanted to ask you, how many years have you been doing this?
Just this type of ministry here? It'll be 4 years in March that I started.
Very good.
I did ministry at church, that I attended and went to. So I've probably done it for probably 20 some years.
Once I get finished with you with a concert, then you're really going to start to really rock and roll.
Yeah.
You wait and see.
I can't wait.
So let's see. It says that you're featured. Oh, you have several features. Would you like to give our audience a little bit of?
Yeah, I don't know how those. I'm on my phone, and it's kind of oh, there it is, featured on.
Let's look at Newswire.
Newswire, and that is my M. Curtis McCoy. That is his magazine. He's the owner and publisher of that. Yeah, and it's international. So. Yeah, and it's all online, and it's amazing. Yeah, so that was my feature. Like within just like the first couple months or something, I had like 70,000 hits on it and stuff. So it was amazing.
So what came first? Because I see three areas that you were featured in. So what came first? The Newswire?
Probably so. I think I'm trying to think of what I have on there. Let me look.
You have Newswire?
No, the Women's Conference, the Inner Beauty. That was my very first speaking at the conference. And that was for my publisher's wife, for her breast cancer fundraiser. And I am a breast cancer survivor, so I was asked to go.
What else do you got? This is another
I have a brain tumor.
Oh my gosh.
I have this big brain tumor in my head. Yeah. I carry it with me every day.
And how long have you had that?
They found it 16 years ago, and it had grown 9 years up to that point.
How big was this thing?
So that's what, 27 years.
And how big is this lump that you're carrying?
It came, and what happened, how we found it was I lost the hearing in my left ear. I was having all kinds of balance issues and stuff. And so they thought maybe that it was just, a bad ear infection or something. And so they wanted to put tubes in there. And they said, no, looks like there's a mass back there. So the MRI found it. But yeah, it goes all the way into my eardrum. And it goes into my brainstem. It's a meningioma. So most of it lays on top of the brain underneath the skull. Goes back to my brainstem, and then it comes down and it goes around my carotid artery. It's wrapped around some of the optical nerves back here. And so I did 36 treatments of radiation to stop the blood supply. The only part of the brain tumor that still has any blood supply is on the inside, inside the brain there and stuff.
Stop 1 second if you can. Linda?
Norm?
Linda, I'm thinking Beamer.
I hear you. I'll take that offline with Tani because, there's more. I will just say that
you two guys got to talk. That's number one.
we have to talk.
Now let's talk about some good things. Okay.
Yes.
It's all well and good, and you've passed everything. You must be exhausted with everything that you've been through, but I don't even know how to express my feelings for you with everything that you have been done. Tell everybody again how they get in touch with you.
Yeah, my phone number is 719-429-5554, and my email is TONNILEATV@gmail.com. And they can find all of that information on my website, TaniLea.com, TONNILEA.com.
Now, I would imagine that... I'm sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
So, Tani, I have a question.
Yes.
And I want you to come from your heart. Not that you're not, but what is your biggest heart's desire?
That's a good question.
To go and just spend a whole day at the ocean laying on the beach. I love the ocean.
You have to come to Florida.
I do, huh? That would be wonderful. It's
12
where God
miles away.
speaks to me the most, and I love it because I can hear him in the waves, and I feel him as the sun is shining on me. It's my most favorite place to be. Yeah.
Yeah. that it's very therapeutic. It's very healing.
So when
Yeah,
we
I've
do,
only been to Huntington Beach is my favorite. Huntington Beach and Laguna Beach. Those are my favorite.
all right.
And
So
I've
when
been
we
there
do
many,
this,
many times.
when we do this concert, I'm going to import a whole bunch of sand,
Oh,
and I'm going to
awesome.
get a pail and a shovel, and we're going to put
Right?
you in the
And
sand.
then I can go play there.
And
Oh,
exactly, we'll get you some.
oh,
We'll drip some
I
water on
love
you.
it. I'm just a kid at heart. My grandma told me to never ever grow up. You can get old in the numbers, but you can never grow up, and she never did. So
Yeah.
Was
The
we
other
were we
question
done?
I would have,
Were we done
I'm
with
sorry.
the website? Was that about it?
Well, there was one other one. I noticed that you were on the Today Show. How did you get there?
I not on the Today Show, but we were at the Today Show, and that's another thing is this was the Women's Warrior Book 2, which launched towards the end of October
Okay.
on Times Square, and the publisher Ken, who is also now one of my speakers, this is his publishing company that has done that, and this is just some of the fun stuff that he does. And then to go and to be right there at the Today Show. And so when they came outside, we were standing right behind him. And Hoda had already met Desiree Cruz, who is the head of this book. She's the one that's put it all together and stuff. And so she was able to talk to her and stuff like that. So, and yesterday, my book with Ken, Dr. Smiley Rashawn, was on the Times Square big screen yesterday, and it's Heal to Be
Very-
Healed. Yep. And
Very
it
good.
debuted yesterday. So,
So that's something nice to share, right, Norm?
Absolutely.
So-
And in this world
yeah,
and this
something.
time of the year, where
Yeah.
you get that religious feeling and good feeling about yourself. I'm sorry.
Indeed.
We
I heard-
got to get you some donate. If people want to make donations to your ministry, how do they do that?
I don't know. I've never had that question asked.
Well,
to
good.
me.
Well, now there's something for you to think about. Because when you do
Because on
shows
my-
like this and you go to Achieve
I know.
or any place, you want to get some donations. That's what the concert's going to do for you. It's going to create awareness so people can make donations for you.
That's right. Yeah. Well, because my ticket sales are on my website. So,
Well, then put a GoFundMe or do something.
yeah,
on there
something
that-
like that. Yeah.
All right, you're missing out.
Curtis
We
is
don't want you to
listening.
miss out. Linda, you
He's
have
going to say, oh my gosh, one more thing that I got to do.
Yeah, but this will enable you to go to the beach.
Absolutely right. I just love that. That's my heart's
When
desire.
When are the next Achieve? I know you put down December, which is this week. So you're going.
This is my conference. Yes.
Right. So you're going then. So now, when is the next one after that?
The Achieve conference, and then you have to belong to Achieve in order to attend that.
All right. What's it cost to belong
That's
to
in
Achieve?
February.
What does that cost to belong to Achieve?
Oh, I'm going to say $59.95, I think.
$59.95.
Oh, no,
Oh, okay.
$5,995. And then you just have a $50 a month membership that pays for everything, because then to go to the university marketing, to go to the conferences, all of that type of stuff like that, that's free.
You see now,
So it's like you pay one time and that's it.
NRG
That's
is
a
a
little
bargain.
bit different.
Pardon, Norman?
I said you're not familiar with it, but NRG is a bargain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're $750.
I guess so, right?
But that's a la carte, Norm.
Yeah, that's a la
Yeah.
carte.
Yeah. And Robert has made Achieve to where it's everything's there. So it's amazing.
So there's another question. What's in store for 24? What do you
For
have
24?
on your for 2024? What do you have on your if you'd like to share?
I am going to increase my conferences. Definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna and I'm moving them to Denver, most of them to Denver. So bigger venues, bigger, attraction. and that type of stuff. And Denver's the big hub anyway, it's the big place. And so everybody goes to Denver for the concerts, all of that type of stuff like that. And so there'll be wellness and healing conferences. So it's going to be a little bit more of everything, with like doing exercising and all of that, massaging and all of that type of stuff. So yeah.
You know what time?
But
Norm,
I'm keeping
now I have to...
Colorado Springs and Grand Junction probably too.
Yeah.
So
you know what time it is?
It's time to give her information again.
Exactly, because the hour is gone. So let's do this.
Let's give 5:55, and that's pretty cool because it's 3 5s in a row.
That's my numbers.
Oh boy.
I love numbers. That's how God speaks to me. Yeah.
Literally, that's my numbers. That's
you
my
guys
birthday.
are all scary. You're scaring the crap out of me. All right, everybody, again, how do we get in touch with you?
Okay, so my phone number is 719-429-5554.
Again.
And my email is TONNILEATV@gmail.com. And you can find all of that information and all kinds of fun things on my website, which is TawnyLee.com.
Oh, great. What a great show.
Thank you, guys. This was
Tawny,
fun.
you kicked it out of the park, girl.
Thank you. Linda, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Isn't Linda terrific?
Let's
She's great
get together.
at this. I found her rather
we
calming.
could have talked. Okay. We could have talked. I mean, it's let's have a conversation because that would,
Yeah, let's get in touch.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we thank you for being here. And let me also tell everybody, tomorrow night, we got a really special. If you like the group by the name of Queen, as in music, Queen, you stay tuned tomorrow night. You tune into the show at 7 o'clock and let us entertain you. This is going to be a good one. All right, and
I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm looking forward to having you here, Tony. I'm looking forward to having you back again in a couple of months. Yeah. If you like it and you're into it, I hope you had a good time, and I hope it was I did. It paid off for you.
And I'm looking forward to our concert together.
All right, me too. I'm liking that, and I'm liking all of you that tune in and watch the Business Awareness Hour. Keep it coming. Our numbers are growing like crazy, and it's all due to you guys. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Be there.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Business Awareness Hour with Lisa and the Music Man is brought to you by Media Stations in Bohemia, New York. Create your own media and have your own station. That's Media Stations in Bohemia, New York. 516-448-2066 or visit MediaStationsInc.com.